Sparta. For centuries, the very name struck terror into the hearts of its enemies. It was whispered across the ancient world, a city of warriors, where the art of battle was perfected, and the weak were discarded. But behind the legends and the dramatic victories lay a darker truth, one that would ultimately lead to Sparta's sudden and shocking demise. What archaeologists discovered next will shock you. The mighty civilization that once ruled the Greek world wasn't destroyed by foreign armies or natural disasters. Instead, it was systematically hollowed out from within, undone by the very mechanisms that had made it invincible. Picture a society where every newborn was inspected by the elders, where those deemed too small, too frail, or simply imperfect were cast aside, where family ties were severed at the age of 7 as children were taken to begin the brutal agoge, the Spartan training system designed to forge living weapons. For decades, these boys endured endless hardship, starvation, beatings, relentless drills, and tests of courage so severe that failure was punishable by death. Fear itself was a crime, weakness was not tolerated, and retreat in battle, the ultimate disgrace. This was the engine that drove Sparta's rise. The agoge produced warriors whose discipline and resilience bordered on the superhuman. At Thermopylae, 300 stood against the Persian horde, immortalized forever for their courage. In the Peloponnesian War, Spartan phalanxes crushed their rivals with precision and ruthlessness. Enemy cities surrendered in advance, knowing that the sight of the Spartan shield meant annihilation. The phrase, "Come back with your shield or on it," became the standard of honor across the ancient world, a chilling reminder of what it meant to be Spartan. But hidden deep within this formidable system were the seeds of its own destruction. The truth has been hidden for thousands of years. Sparta's obsession with purity and military perfection was a trap. While other Greek cities embraced change, expanding their economies, developing new technologies, and nurturing arts and philosophy, Sparta remained locked in a rigid tradition, a time capsule of war. The first crack appeared in the population itself. To be a full Spartan citizen, a Spartiate, required birth from 2 Spartan parents and survival through the agoge. No adoption, no purchase, no exceptions. Every citizen was condemned to lifelong military service, forbidden from engaging in commerce or manual labor. All economic production fell to the helots, an enslaved people whose numbers dwarfed the ruling class. But as war took its toll, every death was irreplaceable. The pool of citizens shrank, and with it, the mighty army. Then came the economic collapse. Spartans were required to provide food for communal messes, a central feature of their society. The food had to come from land worked by helots. But as the economy evolved, some Spartans found themselves unable to meet these obligations, stripped of citizenship and cast out. By 371 BCE, fewer than 2,000 full citizens remained, down from a peak of thousands, a catastrophic demographic implosion. The Battle of Leuctra was the breaking point. Theban general Epaminondas shattered the myth of Spartan invincibility, defeating their army with innovative tactics and killing their king. The world was stunned. If Sparta's warriors could be defeated, what did that mean for everything they had built? What followed was even more devastating. Messenia, the backbone of Spartan agriculture and helot labor, was liberated. Overnight, Sparta lost half its territory and economic lifeblood. Faced with ruin, the Spartans refused to adapt. The choice was stark: abandon the warrior tradition and become farmers, or cling to the past as their society disintegrated. Predictably, they chose the latter. Desperate attempts to recruit new citizens from helots and foreigners failed. These new Spartans lacked the culture, discipline, and shared experience that had once defined the elite. The circle of true warriors grew ever smaller. King Aegeus IV saw the crisis and tried to save his people. He proposed radical reforms, redistribution of land, cancellation of debts, restoration of citizenship. But the conservative elders, blinded by tradition, blocked every effort. In a chilling twist, Aegeus was executed by his own people for daring to challenge the system. The lesson was clear: Sparta would rather die than change. Meanwhile, the world moved on. New military technologies, cavalry, siege engines, the Macedonian phalanx rendered the classic Spartan hoplite formation obsolete. Other Greeks adapted, using professional soldiers and innovative strategies. Sparta, trapped in its Bronze Age mentality, fought on with outdated weapons and tactics. Their discipline remained, but the battlefield had changed beyond recognition. The social structure that had once been Sparta's strength now sealed its fate. While Athens blossomed into a center of learning and art, while other cities merged into new kingdoms, Sparta remained focused on war and nothing else. The Agorge, once the ultimate training ground, became a relic. Young Spartans prepared for battles that no longer existed, drilled with weapons that had been surpassed, and clung to traditions that no longer mattered. By the time Rome rose to dominance, Sparta was a shell of its former self. Wealthy Romans visited to watch the descendants of legends perform rituals and reenact the old customs. The city was a living museum, its glory faded, its warriors reduced to actors in their own history. Archaeological digs reveal the extent of the decline. The grand buildings abandoned, training grounds overgrown, the quarters of the warriors given over to farmers and craftsmen. The once mighty city had shrunk to a fraction of its size. What makes this collapse so mysterious is that it was neither sudden nor hidden. The decline unfolded in plain sight over generations. The warning signs were everywhere: shrinking armies, economic hardship, failed reforms, military defeats. Yet the Spartans could not, or would not, change course. Their greatness became their undoing. This changes everything we thought we knew about human history. Sparta's fall was not inevitable. It was a tragedy of choice. Other Greek cities faced similar threats and adapted. Athens reinvented itself. Corinth survived by trade. Even individual Spartans who left their homeland found success elsewhere, proving their skills were valuable outside the rigid system. The fatal flaw was not in the people, but in the refusal to evolve. The story of Sparta holds a lesson for every civilization. Strength can become weakness when the world changes. Success can breed inflexibility, and tradition can become a prison. The refusal to adapt is a slow-motion disaster, visible to all but unstoppable from within. The most feared warriors in history were destroyed not by their enemies, but by their own chains. So the next time you hear the legend of the 300, remember what lies beneath the myth. The rise and fall of Sparta is not just a tale of glory, it is a warning from the ancient world. What secrets still lie buried beneath the ruins? What forbidden knowledge did the Spartans possess? And what might we learn from their failure? The answers have been hidden for thousands of years, waiting for those bold enough to seek the truth. The story of Sparta is far from over.